we've already seen like some of these other things that we've been building together with the community, right? And we've seen how there is that appetite for this work, right? And we've been really excited to, or rather, so I say a different freaking word.
I said excited about 4 times.
He's excited.
I'm so excited.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Brendan Bradley with the Fifth Wall Forum, committed to bringing together industry insiders from the theater and technology worlds to create opportunities for new kinds of virtual performance. And today I'm having a very special conversation with the Fifth Wall Forum's own Stephanie Riggs and Brandon Powers. We've had this weekly meeting for the last 6 months, and we thought it was time to invite the community to hear the latest news and updates. Today's conversation shouts out to the field. Under the field's nonprofit status, fiscally sponsored artists enjoy personalized fundraising support like donations processing, grant proposal review, donor acknowledgement, and more. Whether you're raising money as an individual artist or growing an arts organization, the field has the tools and services to help you reach your goals. Find out more at thefifthwallforum.com/support. That's 5thwallforum.com/support. And now let's get to the conversation. Welcome, friends.
Hello. So exciting.
Hey guys, this is great.
Well, we came in swinging with our biggest announcement about starting some fiscal sponsorship. Do we want to maybe unpack that a little further?
Absolutely. We are really excited about the opportunity to share some updates today because, we are growing as an organization and we are creating sustainability. And for starters, the field, as Brendan mentioned in our intro, allows us to now take tax-deductible donations, which is really great so that we can bolster out our community and create some more, as I was saying, sustainability for us as an organization. We're just really inspired by where we've come from that first forum and our connector program moving over the last year. And we want to make sure we're able to do it again and continue to build as an entire community. And the field is going to allow us to take that journey together.
One great thing that came out of Fifth Wall Forum for me was getting to meet people in this immersive theater and immersive storytelling space. And it's been so wonderful to see all these amazing projects that people have come up with, both within the Fifth Wall Forum and also beyond. And on top of that, getting to meet my Fifth Wall partner in crime, Rachel. And even though we haven't continued on with our specific Fifth Wall projects, we've still been talking and just trying to figure out what we can do together in the future. So I'm really excited about that.
And Stephanie, why don't you help people understand and unpack where we've gotten to since we last left them?
Wow, you guys, I know it sounds like it's been very quiet on the Fifth Wall Forum front. And what the field offers us to be able to move forward is so much about organization and taking everything that was started early on as a group of people that just wanted to bolster this community, that just wanted to bring together so many talented professionals and create projects. And so to be able to kind of officially organize in this way is huge. So when we look at ourselves as an organization, as Fifth Wall Forum, and it being not just a lightning in a bottle moment where we were able to bring people together, but as a sustainable industry, we outlined some mission statements, and we've been quietly working behind the scenes.
Behind the curtain.
What we've really identified our mission to be is to bolster diverse, talented professionals and projects in the live performance XR narrative space and to accelerate the marketplace for these artists, producers, and audiences. So that's been the focus of what we've put together. And that's started us down the path of doing everything from continuing to develop what had begun with the Connector series and supporting the artists and the work that has come out of that. You continued to work with some of the people that we've met. I've continued to work with some of the people that I met through Fifth Wall Forum that were incredible collaborators and brought them onto projects that offered paying jobs. We've supported grant applications. We have supported festival applications and access to festivals internationally. So a lot of the quietness has been not necessarily broadcasting what we've been working on, but working hand in hand, one-on-one with people that have continued to develop from the Connector program. But that's just one thing.
This is Nick from Team Houdini. The whole Fifth Wall Forum experience was an incredible eye-opener for me, and in Team Houdini we managed to build this highly detailed interactive stage set for the machine stops that was great fun to play with, and that was mainly thanks to Kim Baumann Larsen for the building. But my main takeaway was actually just how easy it is to transfer traditional acting skills into avatars in VR and with that full body experience. And that inspired me shortly afterwards to run a small workshop for local actors here in Germany, and they were all part of an interactive show that we've been doing about death and indeed life and how you might think about your life. And they had absolutely zero VR experience before, and from that first moment they just got it, and they just showed me that really now it's so easy. All you have to do is just meet up online and you can just start rehearsing, which I hadn't realized before. So incredibly thankful to the whole experience.
I think what you're really capturing, Stephanie, and having done this podcast now for the last few months, the thing that I always ask people, like, what is it that you're looking for to kind of take that next step? Recurring, and you brought this up just now, of helping people with grants or some festival applications or finding paying jobs. It's money. And what we kept coming back to is how can we meaningfully support future projects so that we don't have that burnout or that fatigue, because there just is a lack of basic funding to be able to take a project to that next step.
Yeah, and I would also pinpoint this word of accelerate that we have in our mission. And that's something that we really talked a lot about over the last several months, because, we all know there's a lot of different artists and folks in the community that are making XR live performance. And we love all of that. But we want to be, and we see ourselves as a place where we can do this acceleration, right? Where we can say, this is actually happening now. And it's happening successfully now, but it's just needing a little bit more cohesion and a little bit more support to the artist directly in a bit faster of a way to really get us to this next level. That's why, as we're thinking about planning our next Connector program, how we can use more support to actually hopefully financially support the team members, as we saw that that's something that was really necessary. And we're really excited to be able to add on in the future.
Yes, I would add on to that. When you think about what the communities, the theater communities have been through in the last 18 months, and everybody's trying to, bring productions back, we're seeing people explore XR that are not necessarily tech native in new and exciting ways, but they don't necessarily know the collaborators that they have to work with, and I know, or that they could be in touch with. I think that there is a critical component of why Fifth Wall Forum is so essential. And I'm sure everybody saw the metaverse announcement, the new company Meta, right? Now everybody's talking about building the metaverse. And I think when we look at what we want to build this to be, supporting the ethos of Fifth Wall Forum, which is collaborative, which is community oriented, which is less talking, more doing, creating and building with people. This is the type of community that we hope that people will want to support. So, it's donation season, but if we want to put together the metaverse that we want to live in, that we want to build in, that we want to see these shows in, then we've got to find that way to support it and support our artists and our institutions that help make it happen. And that's not just necessarily financial, right? It's participating, it's jumping in on projects that need help, but maybe they don't have the support. And I've seen that happen time and time again as Fifth Wall Forum projects move forward. They'll say, hey, we need a producer, and somebody from another team will jump in and be like, all right, I'll help you, a producer, to get you to the next stage. Like, this is the kind of community that we want to be building. Creating that foundation is going to be critical to building the metaverse, if we have to use that word, that we want to.
The storyverse.
So that we want to be a part of.
We've already seen some of these other things that we've been building together with the community, right? And we've seen how there is that appetite for this work, right? And we've been really excited to or rather, so I say different freaking
He
words.
said excited about 4 times.
He's excited.
I'm so excited. We've loved that we've had the chance to connect folks that went through our program with other really amazing opportunities, and that they were able to find ways to maybe bring them closer and bring them along the festival selection process. And that's something that we see ourselves really primed to do, both as the group of folks that came together to start Fifth Wall Forum, and with this ethos that Stephanie was talking about, that we're really focused on this collaborative side and moving away from making it feel like, everyone's out for themselves. We want this to all grow together.
For my money, the best single aspect of Fifth Wall Forum, if I had to pick just one, is the networking, honestly. Collaborating between multidisciplinary artists and creative technologists from around the globe and every background you can imagine has just been a wonderful experience. Trying to crack this nut of the weird, wild world of live performance and storytelling in XR together. It's been great, so thank you. This is Braden Roy speaking. So long.
So let's pivot back to, we've talked a little bit about where we're moving toward, but we're also doubling down on this sense of community that I think we really magically, serendipitously found in our moment last year with our weekly podcast, our Discord channel, and our newsletter. And these kind of new communication and community management efforts to keep this community collaborating and connecting together.
Yeah,
Shout out to you. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to throw back to you, Brendan, and say,
shout out to everybody listening. Both of you, I see you and thank you.
yes, you've done an amazing job, doing that. And I'd be curious, to hear your reflections on, what you're seeing as a thread, through all those different conversations.
First of all, it kind of informed our next steps of fiscal sponsorship. Seems like one of the most valuable things that we could possibly offer some of these connector teams and these projects. But I also think it is really continuing to establish this kind of hub or nexus of this community. I think what has been very, very special is that, we hear all the meta stuff, and that's great, but one of the biggest things that came out of the Meta announcement was the idea that there's something like 10,000 jobs that they're looking to hire in the EU for this type of work. And something we knew from the get-go when we first looked at the pivot into these new technologies to meet the moment of COVID was this is going to create so many jobs, so much opportunity, and we want to foster that opportunity and that lowercase I industry as it becomes an uppercase I industry. And so I think really what I've seen is people keep coming back to the Discord, keep coming back to the podcast as an opportunity to keep kind of seeing what is out there. It's just a matter of us really doubling down on that effort to create a true hub or home so that people have something to come home to.
And this is an open conversation too. If there's something that you're listening to this podcast and you're like, I feel like I would like to see this in the community, or I would like to see something happen, or there's something I'd like to talk about, or I'd like to hear on the podcast, or can we set up this channel on the Discord? It's important for us to hear what the community needs are so that we can try and support that. And hopefully we can set ourselves up so, we support you, you support us, and we'll just keep taking it to the moon.
And speaking of that, you'll be hearing little voice messages throughout this podcast of great feedback and responses that we've got from some of our community members. And you can always feel free to give us some of that verbal oral feedback as a little voice memo at any time, either at the podcast anchor page, or you can just email hello@fifthwallforum.com with a little voice memo from your phone. Make it easy, make it simple, just to say hello to the community anytime.
Hi, this is Rebecca Evans. The Fifth Wall Forum was a really incredible opportunity to meet new people and to challenge ourselves both technically and artistically. And it was so terrific that I continued on that journey this year and was able to create 2 new shows for the Onboard XR Festival, courtesy of Brendan Bradley. I had an incredible time, and I've just really enjoyed being part of this creative community, learning from each other, and learning about how we as humans embody those avatars and those characters.
Can you talk a little bit about the newsletter, what people should be expecting from our communications over the next month?
For sure. So we are looking at that as a way to continue to keep people updated with this sort of information that we're sharing here today in a more regular format, as well as community news. right? And really trying to highlight other folks that are continuing to do work, especially when there's overlap and collaboration happening between folks that met through the connector, are continuing those projects, or now, what we're really loving seeing is folks from different teams all cross-pollinating together to create entirely new works, right? That is what, I think we all agree is the signs of a healthy community, is that continued collaboration.
Yeah, and I think there are great resources out there of things that are already launching or have launched, via NoPro or different newsletters and podcasts, and where Fifth Wall Forum is more positioned towards the development, the encourage, the rah-rah, if you will, of people that are taking those risks, that are trying new things, that are in development, that need support and need help. So thinking of the newsletter as supporting that community and all of our community efforts, rather than focusing on the end game and the launches that some of the other publications focus on.
So let's end by focusing on our big kind of call to action of today's conversation, which is our official fundraising campaign to kind of drive us through the end of this year to really look ahead to 2022 in a whole new Fifth Wall Forum way.
Yes, we are feeling ready and engaged to take this big next step, and I think tie together all of what we've been talking about over the last 10 minutes or so and show that, we as a community are ready to take this next level and need that support to really make it happen. We want to find that sustainability as an organization, and so that we can then filter that down to our community. And as I mentioned before, we're looking at how the connector program can grow, take the feedback we received from last time around so that we can better support our projects both financially and creatively. And we want to get projects over that finish line, or even just allow them to grow and be nurtured in a way that we see in this industry, right? That doesn't really happen unless you're able to really bootstrap and then maybe have an amazing festival premiere, but no one's helping us get to that festival premiere, right? And so that's what we are here to make happen.
Yeah, and I think that there are a couple different ways to look at support. Big donations are great, but even the smallest donation.
Big donations are great. They're fantastic. Just don't want to ever weed that out. It's fantastic.
And very welcome. But even the smallest donation is really a vote of confidence. And it's a way to say, I think this is important. I'm casting my vote to say, let's please keep doing this. Because if we have 1,000 people that donate $1, but we can turn around to a sponsor and say, listen, there are 1,000 people that want to see this become bigger and to be something more, that becomes something that we can start a conversation with. So help us start the conversation with $1, with $5. Help us make the conversation grow by connecting us with people that you think, or companies that you think would really benefit from this industry being seeded and supported, and finding these projects having the financial backing so that they can go as far as they possibly can.
And another way to support as well is to share out what we're doing here, right? And to then ultimately be sharing out your work. We as a community, right, are ultimately helping educate, hopefully, a lot of audiences that this is even a possibility, right? We all believe in it here. We all believe that this is happening now. And so the more we amplify each other, the more we are bringing in more eyes and understand this is a great new opportunity that is only going to grow for artists and technologists. And that now really is the time to invest in it, as we're at this crossroads, both coming out of losing live in-person theater for over a year and moving into all these larger conversations about what our interactive digital world is going to look like. Let's be at the table now and have this conversation as artists.
And thank you to everyone who has been at the table, from the founding members of Fifth Wall Forum to our incredible mentors, to our collaborators in this universe but outside of Fifth Wall Forum, and everybody that has given so much time and energy and passion in building that has been the foundation for everything that we're building here. So thank you all.
Well, thanks to both of you for having this conversation with me today. It is one of my favorite parts of the week every week, but it was especially special to share it with our community, and I hope you have a great day.
Yes. What's the link, Brendan?
It's fifthwallforum.com/support. That's 5THWALLFORUM.com/
Support.
Thanks so much to you all for this conversation. If you want to join us on the show, you can find us online now on Twitter at the handle Fifth Wall Forum, or you can go to fifthwallforum.com to find out more. I'm Brendan Bradley wishing you a happy Friday, and I'll see you next time.